This is a Tudor Hydronaut, reference number 89190. I have just ordered this online from Chrono24, but unfortunately I will be sending it back, and here is why. If you're able to tell, I have just woke up and decided to do a video since the weather is quite nice. This is the new watch that I have just bought from Chrono24, and I will be sending it back in a few days. Reasons being, it was described as a brand new mint unworn piece. Let me just quickly clean off the crystal here. But unfortunately, when I received it, there are scratches all over. As you can see here, not sure how the lighting is catching it, but on the case itself, on the bracelet, on the clasp, I guess the lighting is making it a bit difficult to see. But this is definitely not a mint unworn piece as it was described. However, still very attractive, just not for the price that I paid for it. Quick story about this watch. It has been a watch on my list to get for about 2 to 3 years now. There's this other YouTube channel called Watch Symposium by Austin Daniels. That is one of my favorite watch YouTubers on here, and he really likes this watch, and over the years has grown on me as a very affordable version of a budget diver. It is 40 millimeters across, just under 11 millimeters thin, and it runs on the ETA 2824 movement, a very basic movement that can be serviced anywhere. Some can say that it lacks the in-house prestige, but personally, I have grown to quite like standard movements because they are so easy to service. When I first started out in watch collecting, I really wanted in-house movements, but after seeing how much it costs to get a service by the brand itself, I am leaning more towards a more standardized and common movement that can be found and serviced by basically anyone with the knowledge on how to service these watches. I think I will be adding this watch back to the collection at some point, definitely, just not this time. This reference number 89190, Hydronaut, was actually made for a period of 10 years, from 1999 to the year 2010, so a bit more than 10 years. However, with that said, this was when the brand Tudor pulled out of the North American market from the year 2000 to the year 2013. So this watch is very, very hard to find in North America and also in the United Kingdoms. It was sold everywhere in Asia, in other parts of Europe, and this particular example was sold in the year 2000, just before Tudor left North America. So it is quite a hard find. I would really love to keep this watch, however, there's just a few more blemishes than I would like. And also I realized that the watch has been polished before, which is a big taboo for me as a collector. I like watches with all their original metals on it. I don't like to have them be missing any metal. Some telltale signs, and this kind of goes into a tangent about the nuances of the Hydronaut. So I have actually done research on this watch more than any other watch that I have collected in the past, just because this watch is one of the only watches that I have purchased that is neo-vintage, I guess, that has been phased out by the time that I even started learning about it. The cool thing about the Hydronaut is you will find them online for anywhere ranging between 2,000 Canadian dollars to anywhere in the 5,000 Canadian dollars. And of course, the range in condition and the things that you're going to be getting, boxes, papers, make a big difference. But over polishing is a big thing on this watch. Now, for the longest time, I thought any Tudor Hydronaut with polished lugs is a example that has been polished before by a non-RSC party. However, I have realized recently that there are actually two reference numbers to this watch. There's the 89190, which should feature satin brush lugs, as you can see here. But there's also a reference number of 89190P, and that stands for polish. So the difference between those two is the P has high polished lugs and also a high polished clasp. Whereas the version without the P, the 89190, has, as you can see here, the brushed clasp and also the brushed lug. Now, what has alarmed me of this piece being a polished piece there's quite a few areas, I think 3 in total. The number one telltale sign for basically all watches is how much the case back, or how deep the indentation of the etching on the case back goes. So this one, it feels a bit more shallow than other examples I've seen. So that's the first sign that told me this watch has been polished before. The second is how sharp or blunt the point of the lugs are. Now this example isn't too bad, or at least I couldn't tell if it has been polished. But in other examples, you can see if it's done quite badly, the blunt of the lug would be different sizes across all 4. I think there are slight variances in this example because, again, it has been polished, I'm pretty sure, but it wasn't done to the degree that I am able to tell from the naked eye. I did take a 2.5 time magnifying loupe to this watch, and that is when I found the other indicators that it has been polished. So the second one being, if you can see here, this is the side of the case. It is brushed. The crown guard is also brushed, but this part conjoining the side of the bezel with the side of the case, it is high polished. Now, I'm just going to, let me see if the camera can catch it properly. This area right here, where my right thumbnail is pointing to, has been brushed before, but the lines aren't done very well in the sense that some of the lines protrude into the high polished area, but it's not quite yet thoroughly high polished. Doesn't have the problem on the other side, but the bottom side alone is quite an alarming factor. Now, turning the watch to the other side of the case, the brushing on this lug is not done in a straight line like RSC would do it. There is some kind of, it goes up and down a little bit. Basically, the lines just aren't very perfect. This one, I was able to see it with the naked eye, while the issue with the crown guard polishing, I had to check with a loupe. Overall, a very solid watch. And as I said, I will be adding one of these back to the collection in due time. Let's try the bezel action. It does come with a diver extension clasp that is etched Tudor. You can pull this out and you can wear it over a thick winter coat, or if you do really go diving, you can wear it over a dry suit. Now on my 6.75 inch wrist, as you can see, I was previously wearing it with the marks on my wrist. It wears pretty well. That is my quick review on the Tudor Hydronaut 89190. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.